So you're ready to blow up your business, your results, your life. This is your moment. You can feel it. But for some reason, you don't seem to make the progress that you want, even if you feel like you're doing everything. Here's your blind spot and 2 keys to start turning your business results around in 1 month or less. But before we dive in, hi, I'm Christina. I'm a success coach and hypnotherapist, and I help spiritual entrepreneurs create impact and wealth while living an extraordinary life. Hit subscribe and stick around. Okay, so when I have clients coming into my world saying that they've been doing lots of things and things are just not picking up, they are not seeing the momentum that they would like to see in their business, in their growth, there are 2 big things where I start looking and sometimes just shifting, working with these 2 aspects that I'm gonna share with you is already creating huge, massive growth. It's already starting to shift the results and skyrocket the growth. So here's what I mean. The first aspect is clarity, and the next one is focus. And before you say, okay, I thought that this was something much more evolved or much more complex, I want to tell you that we are sabotaging ourselves around the simplest things, and the simplest things are actually the most potent. And even when we believe that I already know everything, I'm so advanced, I've been in this manifestation thing or business growth thing for so many years, even then, or maybe especially then, we are falling into these traps. So even if you are a seasoned entrepreneur, stick around because this is for you. The first aspect is clarity. And when I say clarity, is literally clarity on what exactly you want and why you want it. We know that we want things, but most of the times we have a very abstract idea about what we want. We want more money, we want more impact. But when I'm asking my clients, okay, what does that really mean? Like, how would that translate into an ideal life, ideal business for you? Many times they get stuck because they don't know exactly what the answer is. They did not really go into the details of what exactly they want. And this is an exercise that I am suggesting that you start doing right now. Like, watch this video, and then the next time when you have a moment of time, a moment of space, do this exercise for yourself. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Like, if anything was possible, if there were no limits and I could really get what I wanted, what would I really want for myself, for my business right now? And then ask yourself, why do I want that? Like, what would that make me feel? Because we don't want things just for the sake of things. We don't want the 10K mounts, 20K, 100K mounts. We don't want the house just for the sake of the house. We don't want the money just for the sake of the money. We want what we want because of how we want to feel, because of how we think that we are gonna feel once we receive what we want. So ask yourself, obviously, first of all, what you really, really want, but then also ask yourself, what would that give me? Like, once I get that, what would that make me feel? Because that is a very important part in creating the vision and then bringing yourself into a state of alchemy. And I will explain you exactly what we do with that. So this is a huge, huge part. And I will be saying this, even seasoned entrepreneurs, even people that are teaching manifestation, fall into the trap of not creating full clarity for themselves. This is like day 0 mindset work, but honestly, we all need reminders around this. Now, let's say you created that clarity. You know what you want exactly. You let yourself go into that vision. You let yourself go into the details of what that makes you feel once you get there. Now, the second ingredient that is extraordinarily important is focus. And I am guilty of not walking my talk sometimes and falling into the trap of losing my focus. I think we all are. And focus means obviously focusing on what you actually want. But what we most often do is focus on where we are and what we don't want. Because it's so much easier to focus on what is than to stay into your imagination, to stay into your vision, into your desire. We are wired to be here, to be present in our lives. The subconscious is always looking for potential risks and threats. So we are very much wired to be present into the physical reality and less into our imagination. And I remember that when I started this work as a mindset coach many years ago, I had a client in the beginning of my career that told me, look, it's very hard for me to stay in the vision because it feels like I'm delusional. It feels like I'm lying myself. And that's the conversation where I had this, immediate reaction, and I said, but I want you to be delusional. I want you to be delusional. And here's what I mean. I want you to make the habit of staying into your vision and living into your vision as much as possible throughout the day. And this doesn't mean that you pretend to be someone else, or you tell people that you are a millionaire or things like that. It's you being privately delusional. So I'm encouraging you to be a private delusional for yourself in your inner universe, which means that you start spending more and more time in your vision, while also letting yourself be with what is. But let yourself be with what is only after you spend time into your vision, because you'll notice something magical happening. You will start bringing the version of you that you meet into your vision. You'll start bringing them more and more into this here and now. And instead of operating from a place of scarcity, a place of I don't want this, I just want to move away from what is, you start operating from a place of I already feel like I have what I want. And if I am that person that already has what she wants, this is what I would choose now. This is what I would create now. This is how I would be showing up now. This is the direction I would be going after right now. So you start bringing that energy of your vision, the personality that you are meeting there, more and more into this now. And obviously, as you are taking decisions, you are making moves, you are making choices from that energy, this reality here today starts shifting and starts matching more and more, coming closer and closer to the level of your vision. So here are 3 things that I would like you to do. Ask yourself, as we were saying, ask yourself, what would I want? What do I really, really want if anything was possible? If I was allowed to have my desires, if there was no shame, there was no guilt around what I want, what would I really want to have? And then ask yourself, what does that give me? Why is important for me to have that? What are the feelings? What are the emotions? What are the states that I would be having access to once I receive what I want? And then the third thing, and this is a check that I want you to get into the habit of, the third shift is to start playing with your focus, to start training your focus, to be on where you go, where you are going, where you've already arrived inside yourself. and less on where you are. We operate here. We are humans in this human experience. We deal with where we are. I'm not saying to run away from this reality, but come here into this reality only from the energy of your vision, only from the perspective of the person who already has whatever you are desiring and you are creating right now. Come into this reality with that energy, with that frequency, and take the decisions here from that vibration. You will see huge shifts. I said in 1 month, but I bet that it will be much, much faster if you are dedicating yourself and committing to this change.